So the Feldenkrais definition of being well organised refers to a physical coordination of readiness, of being able to move equally easy in any given direction at a moment's notice. And I think this definition of readiness could also apply to being well organised in life at large. Yes, there's forethought and planning involved, but being organised isn't about having to adhere to the prior plan. It's the being organised that's what allows you to be spontaneous. Because you've taken care of the things that need to be taken care of, or you have the overview of how and when you can take care of those things, that's what lets you follow the opportunities that arise that you hadn't planned for. And I find that the principles within awareness through movement are really helpful for getting organised in other areas in life. So I actually relish organising things, including sorting out a mess that's been dumped in the garage that isn't even my mess. And I know that sounds daggy, and I know it's not everybody's favourite task. So this Aptitude in Organising session at the upcoming FG&A conference is about sharing how the act of organising can be creative. It can be a place of play rather than a chore, by using the structure and principles within awareness through movement. So how would you start an awareness through movement? You would start with a scan. How do you start the task of organising your garage? First, you have to see what's there. You're pulling everything out, and you see what variables you have to work with. And then you start looking for relationships. You're making little piles, little categories. These are the things that you need to access frequently. These are the things you can get rid of. Let's make a miscellaneous pile for the things that you're not sure of what to do with right now. Okay, so you've got these little piles, and the best place to start is with what's easy. Let's leave the harder stuff until you get an idea. Start with what you can, and that gets you going. You don't need to know how it's going to work out. You're just following the little threads along the way. And what's great is if it doesn't work out, you can just put things back the way they were. So that's the notion of reversibility that gives you the freedom to experiment. Even if you put things back the way they were, I reckon that you would have learnt something in the process of engaging with the contents of the garage. So that's the potency of doing the organising yourself. Now you know exactly what resources you have available. I think so much of us have things tucked away in a cupboard, under the sink, up on the top shelf that we've forgotten about, that are underutilised. And by organising, you're bringing them to the foreground. You're reminding yourself of what you actually have. And I think there's something really satisfying about these resources kind of coming to life and being utilised for the things that they were designed for, rather than languishing, forgotten, tucked away in storage. Even if you're giving them to somebody else, I think that's satisfying that now they're being used. So by knowing what you have available, you also know what it is that would be useful. So if I'm walking along the road and I see something that's been put out on the curb and it matches exactly what I've identified would be useful for my storage system, for whatever I've designed, then I can take it, not from a place of hoarding, not from a place of maybe it would be useful, but from a place of knowing that that's exactly what would solve the little problem that I've discovered or encountered. So you get to know yourself in the process. Not only do you get this calmer, more tranquil environment once you've removed the distraction of clutter, but actually it's a chance to reflect on where you've come from. It's a chance to make decisions about what's still relevant, what you can let go of, what's valuable, what's extraneous. So it may sound a little bit meta, but I think organising is you getting to know yourself. You're actively making decisions that's about shaping a quality of life in the present to support wherever it is that you're heading. So this act of organizing is a process. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's about you continually updating and making little improvements and adjustments. And that's where the satisfaction is. And that's how I see its similarities with awareness through movement. So I hope you'll join me to explore how to bring fun and play into organising.